Oh yeah, hello. Welcome to another thought of the day, but it was more like a thought of last night. Or probably not last night to when you're hearing this, because it's getting a bit late in the day, so I probably won't upload this today, unless I will, I don't know. Anyway, game graphics, and like, how much better can they get? Because you see, I don't know, I guess part of this thought was like, once they've reached photorealism, can they even get any better? Is there such a thing as graphics better than real life? Not really, no, because, like, I mean, in a way, I guess it's subjective. It might look like a lovely, beautiful, bright world, but it might also not look very realistic because of that, because that's not realistic, is it? Because the world isn't that bright. Well, unless the sun's out, but you know what I mean. Like, colourful, vibrant colours and all that, or something. Unless you go to a very nice flower garden, you're not going to see that in real life, are you? And that could be called better than life. But in that way, the game isn't at the realistic levels of graphics anymore, so it can't be better than realistic. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Graphics these days, they are starting to get to the point where you could mistake game graphics for real life graphics. For example, I guess Until Dawn is a good example. The characters in that, they look pretty much like real people until they're animated. Then you get the uncanny valley thing going on, where it's like awkward because they make weird movements that are just slightly off. But then I was also thinking, like, well, are games really that close to real life at the moment? Is it going to be like 10 or 20 years ago where we're going to look back games that are out today and think, oh my god, these look awful, look at these graphics, we've come so far. You know, back in the day when the original Tomb Raider came out or something, we were probably like, whoa, look at these graphics, oh my god, man, I can't believe it, how do games look this good? But now it's like, oh, she's made of triangles, oh dear. But I don't think we could really look back at today's graphics, ever, and think that they're bad, because I guess that's what set me off on the whole, like, where do you go from realistic graphics? Because they're starting to look realistic now, and I don't think the graphics today are ever not going to look good. Like Half-Life 2, that looked amazing back in the day, and still does to some extent, but it is showing its age. Like, you can see the jagged edges and stuff, or whatever. But now we've got all smooth stuff, we've got realistic lighting going on. There are still obvious improvements that could be made to, like, the general effects, I think, more than anything. Like, interactions with liquid, for example, I think is a big thing that games often don't have. And just particles and stuff, you know. Like with liquid, you might see a leaking pipe and it's, like, falling down, but it doesn't interact with the player, it just goes through them. And it doesn't splash on the floor or something, it just goes. I don't know, I guess some games sort of have effects like that, like Dead Space, the water splashes on you. But there's no, like, super realistic water physics most of the time either. So I guess I feel like water and particle physics are going to be maybe one of the next big steps for graphics, to just add that extra layer of realism. But yeah, I don't really know. Like, soon, I guess maybe within the next 10 years, I think graphics are going to reach the point where you can't really improve. I guess maybe VR is the next thing, that's going to keep getting better until that's realistic. But where do you go? Eventually, you won't be able to get better graphics, then everything will just... What'll happen to improvements? I don't know. It's a difficult thing to think about, really. Yeah, well, it's not really. Where can you go? You can't go anywhere. You'll just keep making games that all look good now. I don't know what I'm on about. As always with these things, I usually don't know completely what I'm on about. I'm just spouting my thoughts at the time. So yeah, that's all. I guess a short one here. It's already been 5 minutes, but thanks for listening, and goodbye!